Okay guys, so I'm going to go through this week's trades on gold and NASDAQ just to kind of show you what happened. So let me just delete everything first. It's going to be a quick one, just super simple. Starting on Monday. So Monday, trying to get an idea of what price is doing. So price was bullish at this higher high, right? So I was looking for sells. I didn't see anything till the 15. So what I saw was this QMR in line with this breakout level. So that was my setup. But price didn't come back here. It got close, but didn't tap it. So this was my setup. I was waiting for the QMR, but no trade. So basically no trade on Monday. That was no trade day. So then you go back to charts, go to Tuesday. Take a look at what happened on Tuesday. Tuesday's a little bit more simple. Price pretty much was trending down. So what I noticed is that this level is the first thing I noticed is the SNRC2, right? So this is SNRC2. When I saw this, I was like, okay, price is going to come back here and then go down, right? This is an SNRC2. Just to continue, SNRC2 is a continuation pattern, right? So this is the level I had. So I'll go to the 30. You can see it a little bit more clear and obvious on the 30, right? This is the SNRC2. Oops, sorry. So that's what I was expecting. I was expecting price to come to this level and drop. So this actually, for me, ended up being a break-even trade. Just show you. So for me, this was a break-even trade because price came to this level, tapped it, right? Got to about 9.5 points before going back up, and then obviously it ultimately went down afterwards. But my trade was already in break-even, and that's it. So sometimes this happens. You know, not everything is going to work out the way you want it to work out. And that's okay, as long as you follow your plan and you stick to your rules and you manage your risk properly, then everything will be okay in the long run. You know, it sucks that it hits break even and then it goes your way, right? But I mean, that's trading, so you can't expect to get everything, right? So totally fine. So that was a break. Monday was a miss. Tuesday was a break even. Let's go to Wednesday. Show you what happened on Wednesday. Wednesday was nothing, because I noticed this was the lower high, this was the lower low. I was waiting for price to get back up here. And if price didn't get back up here, I was waiting for price to pull back on a lower time frame, then kind of have a QMR shift of structure. But I never got that, so I'll just show you what happened. So price ended up pulling back, right? Price pulled back. It's more clear on the 15, you can see. Oops, that's the 5, sorry. 15. Yeah, so you can see here, price pulled back, right? So how do you know when the pullback is over is when you have a shift of structure, right? So I was expecting to find a QMR in the M5 or M1 time frame, but that never happened, so I'll show you. Right, that just never happened, so there's no trade for me. There's nothing I could do, so yeah, so there was no trade for Wednesday. So now we go to Thursday, go back to the 1 hour. 1 hour. So 1 hour is a little bit different. I'll just show you. So 1 hour, you have to understand context and you have to understand how price moves. So just show you, right? So you can see the difference between this before it hits the New York session, right, as opposed to this. I'll just show you. So prior to the New York session, you have price at a lower low, right? Obviously, you can't sell at a lower low. That just doesn't make any sense. You have to wait for price to create a new lower high in order to continue lower, right? You're not going to sell at a lower low. That's just stupid. So now, just to show you the difference, what did you have before the New York session on Thursday was that you had price putting in a potential lower high, right? But then it stopped and it failed to put in a lower low, right? So before it got to the New York session, price, if it wanted to continue down lower, it should have put in a lower low on the 1 hour time frame, right? So that's the first thing to notice. Also, if you go to the 4 hour time frame, you got to look at the location of where price is, right? So you see this is the lower high, right? This is the lower low. So I'm just going to show you how people get trapped. So this is how people get trapped, right? So it's okay, price is bearish. Okay, cool. Now then they go to a time frame like this, and they notice, oh, okay, look at this. There's a QMR sell. Okay, price is bearish, QMR sell, and that's it. You lost. Because they fail to understand the context, right? So the context, understand the context, right? How do you understand the context? Simple. Where are you in the 4 hour time frame? You're selling at a lower low, a 4 hour lower low, right? That just doesn't make sense. Go to the 1 hour. You notice you're always following the CMP, right? So price stalled here, right? It didn't go any further. You know, that's not random, right? Price stalled here. It didn't put in a new lower low, so that has to tell you something, right? So price is going up basically, right? So go to the 30. What can you see? You can see that price is stalled in that area, right? Just kind of, let me just delete all these drawings so it's a little bit more clear for you. Right? It's just stalling in this area. Go to the 15. Right? See, price is just stalling here, going sideways. And then when it creates this breakout here, and closing price confirms it, and 830 is the entry, so you're following CMP, right? That was the setup. So I'm just trying to show you how people get trapped and how you understand how to read flow and how to build context so you don't get trapped, right? So hope that makes sense. A little bit more advanced, but you have to think logically, right? If you're looking to sell, right, where are you selling on the 4 hour? You're selling at a 4 hour lower low, right? I mean, do you really think that makes sense? Or you think it's better to go the other way, right? To trade the pullback? Because obviously, to me, it'd make more sense to trade the pullback than to trade the continuation because it's at a lower low, right? So just keep that in mind, right? Okay, let's go to Friday, see what we got for Friday. Friday was much more simple. Simple, price is bullish. What do we have? I marked this level here. Why do I mark this level here? I'll show you why. Because I'm expecting price to have a pullback. To continue to go up. Go to the 30, right? I didn't choose this level here because to me it just didn't make any sense logically. I go to the 1 hour, right? It just didn't make sense for me. Even if you chose this level, it's okay, but you have to have a setup, right? So I didn't really see a setup here, and I didn't really trust this break and retest here, right? So what do I notice in this area down here? Remember I told you you look for a setup at the previous lower high or higher low. So I was looking for a setup within this area, right? So I'll just show you how I found it. So then I go to the 5 minute because I don't see anything on the 15. And then this is what I noticed. I was like, oh, okay, I got a QMR. Look at that. So I said, okay, this is where I'm going to sell. Sorry, this is where I'm going to buy from. So, as always, these are my two levels to enter from. I'm waiting. Oh, okay, look at that. I got closing price. Respecting this level. Okay, so that's... You don't have to wait for closing price. I personally don't. It just depends on the context. So, even if you did, this is basically where you would want to buy from, right? So then, obviously, price entered and went up, and the rest was history, right? So, if you missed that, you got another opportunity, but this was outside session. Price created another QMR, but this was more at 10:30. I don't trade past 10 o'clock, so that was basically the trade for Friday, right? So now we go to NAS. Go to the 1 hour. Start on Monday. Just going to show you what I saw. So Monday I noticed price was bullish. Price is kind of moving sideways at a higher high. So I'm looking for sells, right? I'm just looking for sells. I'm understanding flow and I'm understanding context. So I'm just looking at if there's anything at the previous higher high, which is this area here, right? I'm looking for a setup within this area. I'm just showing you how I find this stuff. So, right. So what do I notice? I don't see anything here, except these are two double tops. It's not really a setup, so I could drop down to the 1. Oops. Okay, now this is where I zoom in. And this is the highest price that highest point price went to, right? So if I'm looking to sell, it would be this area here, right? But this is way outside. But just to give you context, price ended up coming here and dropping, right? So wasn't really the setup I was looking for, because honestly I was looking for a QMR. Like there's nothing here except a strong level of resistance, double top, right? So just refinement, then price respecting it closer to 10. So for me personally, there was no trade, but I'm just showing you how you find this stuff, right? So that's basically where price ended up going. Obviously, you can see price ended up stalling. It's moving sideways, right? It's failing to go higher. When you see stuff like this, that basically means that price is going down, right? Because price went up, it stalled, and then it's going down, right? So anyway, there was nothing for Monday. I mean, me personally, I didn't get anything on Monday, so just no trade. I'm just showing you how you find stuff that makes sense logically. Right, so that makes perfect sense. So now we go to Tuesday. So Tuesday, price is bullish. At first I had this QMR, right? And then I noticed prior to New York, price had already respected the breakout level, right? But this was at 7 o'clock, right? So, okay, I'm looking for a continuation setup, so I need to drop down time frames. So what do I see? I see price had this higher high, higher low, but obviously that doesn't work for me, so let me just show you. Okay, this is what I was looking at. Remember what I said to you? I'm just trying to find things that make sense. So in this area is where I was looking for a setup because it was the previous higher low, right? So I dropped down to the 1. What do I notice? Now you can see what I'm talking about. There's a QMR, right? So this was my trade. I take this trade. I lost the first one. Just show you. Because I'm using 10 points, right? So first trade lost, right? But I feel strong in this. I feel confident in this trade, so I just wait, right? So I wait and I take another trade, right? So and then price ends up going up, right? So yeah, let's just say you didn't get that, right? For whatever reason you didn't get that trade. Totally fine. You wait for another continuation. This would be the next continuation here, which was this another QMR. Entry was at 953, right? So this would be the other trade that you would enter in at, right? You just wait. Basically, just wait. If you didn't get in this trade, like let's just say you lost, it's like okay, well price is going up, so I need to wait for another continuation. What's the first thing you notice? You notice the QMR formed right here, right? So, and it's in line with this level, this rally-based rally, right? So it's definitely strong. So then you would have ended up getting your yeah, 1 to 19, right? So hope that makes sense. What was that? Tuesday, right? Yeah. Hope that makes sense. Just showing you how you find this stuff. Super simple, right? Just following direction and entering at logical places, right? So hope that makes sense. All right, let's go to Wednesday. So Wednesday, what's price doing, right? Use common sense, right? Prior to New York session, what do you got? You got a higher high, right? So I noticed that on the 15, you could have taken a break and retest, right? Just check this out. Could have taken a nice break and retest right here. Nice 1 to 10. Super simple, right? But I don't do that. I wait. So I knew price was at a higher high in the 4 and the 1, so I'm looking at a reversal. So I dropped down to the 1. Just show you, this is basically my logic. So I'm looking for sells. What do I notice? I notice that price put in a higher high, right? I noticed that price failed to put in a higher high, right? Because this was the last, this is the potential higher low, right? You gotta use your common sense and logic, right? So price put in a higher high, higher low, failed to put in a higher high, and it broke this previous higher low, which is now flipping bearish. On top of that, what do you notice? You notice obviously a QMR, right? So that's what you noticed. You noticed the QMR, and that was your trade, right? Right? High, low, high, lower, low, price tapped and went down, right? So makes sense. Let's keep it simple. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, let's go on, head over to Thursday. Thursday again, yeah. Check this out too. I'll show you how you get people nice and trapped. So you're thinking the market's bearish on the 1 hour, right? You're thinking to yourself, okay, market's bearish, right? So, but you got to think of context here, right? So this was the last lower high. This was the last lower low, and then price put in a new lower high here, right? Price going into the New York session. Kind of show you just kind of what I'm talking about. See what I'm talking about? If you're thinking price is bearish, it's not. Price is bullish, right? Because once it got to 9 o'clock, it flipped, right? On top of that, this is the 4 hour where it comes into context too. So show you. Price is bullish on the 4 hour. Prior to New York session, it's respected a previous higher low, right? So we know price is going up no matter what, right? That's what we're expecting. So we're looking for buys no matter what, right? So now the question is, how do we get in the buys? So this is where you rely on structure mostly, right? So check this out. You have a higher high, higher low, higher high. Now you got to ask yourself, where is the higher low that price is going to react from, right? Now, generally speaking, I always like to put in the this area here, previous higher low, right? But in this area, there was nothing. I'll just show you. To me, this just didn't make sense, this level here, right? So I'll show you why I chose another level up here. I'll just show you. You got to remember context, right? So and closing price, right? So say price is down here all the way, right? Let's just say you found a QMR in the previous higher low, right? Okay. But then you have this level here, right? And you have this level here. And you have this level here, right? Right? Now look at closing price here, right? Price respected this level here, right? Even though it went lower to get down to this level here, right? You got to understand, if price had closing price respect this level up here, it's highly unlikely that price is going to come down all the way here, right? Not possible, but not likely, unless there's news. Then obviously news would get it to go down there. So then you got to ask yourself, well, okay, you know, where is price most likely going to react from? Then this is where I use the higher time frame from, right? So, well, I just look at the higher time frame, and I know price is not going to go there because at closing price, this level in the middle just makes no sense, right? And now you're left with these two levels, right? Because they're overlaps. Okay. Now I go to the 1 hour time frame, see if any of it makes sense. Oh, okay. Well, this one doesn't make any sense because there's nothing there. Process of elimination. That's how you find this level here. So you go to the 30, and that's that level. And you go to the 15, and that's that level, right? So that's how you find the level, right? So, because if you're looking for a continuation entry, me personally, I would have taken these two. These two would have been my continuation entries, right? And then I would have gone to the 30 and see if it made sense, right? And immediately I would have saw this. Oh, okay, that doesn't make sense. Like this doesn't overlap with anything. This overlaps with something. So that would have been my trade, right? So I'm just showing you how you find the level and how you find logic with the level, right? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so now let's go to the 1 hour. That was Thursday. Let's go to Friday. So Friday price was bullish. I was looking for buys. Oops. But when I saw this price action, I was like, doesn't really look so good. I'm looking for buys. I had this level here, right? Price was reacting from. That was my initial entry point. Why? Just keep going down. And there's just the previous level, but this is what you have to look at. Price never came back to it, right? So price respected this level of support, never returned, and kind of just kept going up. There's basically no opportunity for Friday. There's no clear, obvious opportunity unless you know how to read structure and read price. So this would have just been basically a break and retest, right? Just show you what I'm talking about. Right, so you have this is the higher high, this is the previous higher low, right? You can see price respected it, right? This bullish candle, this candle respected it as well. So most likely price is going to react from this again and then go up, right? But it's a little bit more advanced, and you gotta know what you're doing. So I didn't personally take that because I generally like to look for setups. So there was no setup, right? And then this was the higher high on the 15. This was the higher low. And then you can just see, right, that price kept respecting this level. If it's respecting this level and price is already going up, then obviously you know where price is going to go. Most likely, it's going to continue to go up, right? And that's basically what ended up happening. But I generally like to wait for setups. I don't always enter in on levels and closing price, unless it absolutely makes perfect sense to me. So you could have, right? You could have. This would have been what time was this? I think this was at 9 o'clock. Oh no, 8:45. Sorry, 8:45. It's around 8:45. Yeah. Then you just see if anything makes sense on the 1 minutes. I don't think anything did though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because price never came back to this. This would have been the first entry point. Price came close, but nothing. Yeah, so there was nothing. Hope that makes sense, guys. I'm just trying to teach you how to read direction, read price, follow the flow, where to look for setups, how to find a good level to enter from when you have a lot of stuff. You basically just always look for the overlap. That's basically just it. And how to avoid getting trapped. Just know where you are in the market, know where you are in context, right? And yeah, I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see how this week goes. Thanks.